Welcome back. My name is Dr. Carl Baird, and today I'll be guiding you through one of my favorite ab workouts for a bad back. So, as you probably know that if you have a bad back, building a strong core or your abdominal musculature is one of the best things that you can do to limit impact that goes through the structures of your spine for less lower back pain and less arthritis as you get older. But with that being said, it's important that you pick the right exercises because there's a lot of ab exercises out there that can actually lead to more impact on the spine for more pain and more arthritis. So the exercises that I picked in today's workout are both safe and effective, and I'll guide you through some variations as we move forward. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is just warm up our spine a little bit. So let's get in our hands and our knees, and we'll start with a simple cat-cow. So you're going to arch your back, let the head hang, tuck your pelvis inward, and do the opposite, the cow position, where you're going to lift your head, drop your stomach, rock your pelvis backward. So all we're trying to do is loosen up some of the stiffness. Always really good if you have a bad back. Make sure that you warm up your lower back before you do any sort of workout, just so you don't, or you lower the risk of aggravating any of your back pain. So again, nice and slow. As you start to warm up a little bit, you can move a little faster or sink deeper into these stretches. Just whatever feels good. We're just going for some gentle movement. Keep it in a nice pain-free range. Don't push it if you're feeling any tension or tightness. Good job. Let's do one more round. Cat. And the cow. Good job. So from this position, we're going to take our knees a little bit further out, and we can bring our heels close together, push our hands back, and then reach them forward. And we're going to sink into this child's pose. I'm going to drop my head if I can. And this just helps decompress the spine a little bit. So if this feels good, you can hang out in this position, or you can come back up and then sink back down. So again, this bottom position just decompresses the spine just a little bit. Usually feels good for most people that are struggling with a bad back. Again, you can move in and out. We'll do one more. Sinking our hips as far back as we can. And back up. Next, let's work our way onto our back. We got one more warm-up exercise. We'll have our knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Get your feet a little wider than hip width. And from there, we're just going to let our knees drop to the right. And then have our knees drop to the left. So again, we're still just focusing on getting gentle movement into our lower back. This is more into rotation, where the cat-cow was more into flexion and extension. Again, with this one, it's okay if your hip comes up off the ground. Again, we're just doing that gentle rotation back and forth. This is another one that should feel pretty good. You get a slight stretch in your muscles here, but more importantly, in those joints and structures of the low back, you're getting just a little bit of movement to help lubricate things, get things going. Good job. Okay, so let's start with our first ab exercise. And since we're already on our back, let's just start with a simple dead bug. So to perform this exercise, I'm going to have my feet, knees, and hips in this 90-90 position, my arms right out in front. And from there, I'm going to drop my right foot and my left hand at the same time. I want to tap the ground and come back up. Now for this particular exercise, what you want to pay attention to is your ability to maintain a good spinal position as you move through dynamic movement. So what that means is when I drop my leg, I want to make sure that my pelvis doesn't rock forward and I overextend or exaggerate this arch in my lower back, because that's a bad spinal position. We want to be able to drop our hands and our knees without that flare in our pelvis, which creates overextension at the spine, which can be painful. Good job. 3 more seconds here. And done. Okay, let's work our way back to our stomach, and we're going to move into a simple plank. So again, a couple different variations. I'll start with the easiest. We're going to do elbow planks, which just means I'm going to be here on my elbows. Easiest variation is a knee plank. So as you can see, I'm just resting on my knees, and this is a great place to start if you're new. And if you feel like this is difficult, it's okay to just come out of the position, take a quick rest, but try to get back in as quick as you can. And the more times you do this workout, the easier it will become, so that you can hold this ideally for a minute straight. If your knee's too easy, simply come up onto your toes and hold it here. The reason the plank is such a great exercise is because it targets your abs, but there's no movement through the spine at all. And so that's what, if you have a bad back, finding exercises that build strength while limiting movement is one of the best things you can do. Nice work. We've got about 10 seconds left. Getting a little bit harder. 3, 2, and 1. Next, let's go ahead and move into our side plank. So to set up this one, we're going to have our elbow directly under our shoulder. And again, I'll start with the knee variation. So once you find your position, you're just going to lift your hips up in the air. So in this top position, I want my body in a nice straight line. I want my elbows stacked. So again, I'm not rotating forward on my elbow here, and I'm just holding this position. If this is too easy, or you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can lift your top leg or move to toe side plank. So now you want to lift your hips, but you're on your feet. The main thing is, again, you really want to keep this hip up and not let it sink to the ground like that. This one, we're only doing 45 seconds. We got 3, 2, 1. We'll go ahead and switch sides. Again, we want our elbow directly under our shoulder. We'll lift those hips. Make sure your body is in a nice straight line, and make sure that your shoulder is stacked and you're not rotating. So your top hand can do whatever you want. Hi, Mom. But yeah, that's what a lot of people ask what to do with their top hand, and whatever feels good. No right or wrong, as long as you're not twisting. Good job. 15 seconds. And again, you can stay on the knees, lift the leg, or switch to your feet. And good. Let's come on down and then work our way back on to our hands and knees. And we're going to do a bird dog exercise. So for this one, it's kind of like the opposite of the dead bug, where I'm going to take my one leg, I'm going to drive my heel backwards while I reach my hand forward. And we're going to hold this for 10 seconds. The key is that you're reaching back and forward and not up into the air where you're overextending at your lower back. You want to keep a nice neutral spine, really trying to stay still and not wobbling back and forth. Let's go ahead and do the opposite side. So left foot back, right arm right by the ear, pointing forward. Some things to pay attention to is I like to point my heel. So I pull my toes up, point my heel back to engage the glutes in my leg. They're your big hip muscles back here. And the other thing you can do is just squeeze your fist to create a little bit of tension up top. Let's go ahead and switch again. We'll do a little shorter rounds. This time we went a little longer than 10 seconds on those first two. That's all right. Good. Switch again. Good. Let's do one more each side. Again, you can squeeze the fist, point the heel, reaching for length, not reaching for height. And one more on this side, reaching for length, squeezing, pulling that toe up, squeezing at the hand, create that tension, and done. Congratulations on finishing part 1 of our ab workout for a bad back. Now, one of the principles you want to keep in mind when you're working out around lower back pain is that it's important to keep your exercise routines relatively simple. So rather than picking 10 different exercises to do, we're simply going to go back and start with our first strengthening exercise and work through those again. So let's go ahead and set up that dead bug. We'll be on our back, 90-90 position, hips flex to 90, knees flex to 90. You can pull those toes back. Arms out right in front. Let's start with the left leg. Bring that right leg back. Quick tap and back down. Tap and back down. So remember, what you want to pay attention to when you do the dead bug is maintaining a strong spinal position. So as you drop your legs and your hands, you don't want to lose that spinal position by having your pelvis rock forward, extending at the low back, exaggerating that arch in the lower back. Because if you get into that position, you probably notice that it's a little bit painful. So you really want to work on maintaining that good spinal position. If this is feeling too easy, something else you can do is instead of keeping your legs bent, you can straighten the legs as they come down. That's going to make it a little bit more challenging for you. But again, you have to maintain that good spinal position. And if you can't hold it yet, don't move on to that next one. Good job. Let's go ahead. We'll move into our planks. Elbow planks. So starting on our elbows. Again, pick the level that's best for you. You can start on your knees or come up to your toes. So what's important with this is if you need a break, don't just give up. Just simply drop your knees. You can bring your hips back, take a quick rest, and then get right back into it. And the goal is to build enough strength that you can do this plank and hold it for 60 seconds. But it takes time if you're not quite there yet. So don't get discouraged. Just take a break, out, come back in, and you're right back into it. Good job. Got about 30 seconds left. Try to push yourself if you can. 20 seconds left. But again, if you're working around a low back, if there is pain of any sort, go back to the easier version or take a quick break, move to some cat-cows. Nice work. We got 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, let's move into our side plank. So again, elbow right under the shoulders. Knees stacked. In this top position, your body's in a nice straight line. Your elbows are nice and stacked. And we're going to hold for 45 seconds. So again, the side plank, really important strengthener for these deep spinal stabilizers. These muscles and obliques on the bottom side of our body are really important at stabilizing the low spine and limiting impact that goes through them. So side plank, even though not a lot of people like it, one of the most important exercises for a bad back. Nice work. We got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's go ahead. Switch sides. Elbow under the shoulder, knees stacked, coming up. Body in a nice straight line, elbows stacked. So this is same as the plank. If you do need to take a break, simply drop your hips down, but try to come up as quickly as you can. If this is too easy, try raising your top leg or coming on to your toes, like that. As you can see, the toes, much more difficult. But I'm going to push myself today. Here we go. We got 10 seconds left. Good job. 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's work on to our hands and knees, and we'll end with our bird dog exercise. So, I'm going to take my right leg, send my heel straight back towards the wall, arm forward, hold for 10 seconds, and switch. Left leg, right arm, again reaching for length and not for height. You don't want to over exaggerate at the spine. Switch again. Good job. Switch again. Remember, you can really point that heel towards the back wall, create that tension in the glute, and squeeze your hand for an extra challenge. Switch again. Right leg, left hand, squeeze that fist, point that heel, reach in for length. Switch again. Point the heel, squeeze that fist, create that tension in the body. Good. We're going to do one more each side. Good. Last one. Nice work. Almost finished. Keep it up. And done. Congratulations on finishing your ab workout for a bad back. Remember, the purpose of this routine was to help you build strength in your core to limit impact that goes through the spine for less pain and arthritis as you get older. So I hope this workout has left you feeling good. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I am happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.